Alrighty, good morning to everybody out there. It is a good morning indeed because today is Taco Tuesday over on PrizePicks. If you don't play on PrizePicks yet, now's a great time to sign up. 100% instant deposit match. When you use promo code Curry. So you see the promo code above my head. There's a link down in the description below to join PrizePicks today. Dollar for dollar price match, gang. Take advantage of it. Plus, if you want to sign up for Patreon, still early in the month of March, Patreon link down in the description below. You can also join the free Discord. There's free channels. There's Patreon only channels. I got something for everybody inside Discord. We'll be doing more giveaways throughout the month of March. So definitely make sure that you're in Discord to take advantage of some of those free entry giveaways that we'll be doing. My name's CJ, by the way. Maybe some of you have never seen me before, but I've been doing this player props thing on PrizePicks for quite some time now. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it'd be much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button, make sure notifications are turned on, and slap that like button. We went for 200 likes once again last night. I'm putting the pressure on you, gang. I'm putting the challenge out there. Let's see if you answer the call. Let's go for 200 likes today on Taco freaking Tuesday. Shout out to everybody who's joining me in the live chat. I see we got a lot of folks already in here, already chomping at the bit to talk some NBA player props. We'll get to that. But let's talk about last night for just a second. For me, last night was a bit crazy. I typically play mostly 2-pick power plays. I had a lot of entries that were 1 for 2. A lot of things did not work out for me. I think I had 3 or 4 entries where I went 1 out of 2. That's the worst, especially on a 2-pick power play. I think I did end up hitting 1, though. I took Jimmy Butler under PRA with all the Miami Heat players healthy. And then I took Jayshawn Tate over 5 rebounds with Christian Wood as a late scratch for Houston. I said, let's take advantage. Jayshawn Tate should see the floor more. He's a high-energy guy. He's active, and my man ended up coming through. So it wasn't all bad news. And then there was a play that I was on that I sent out to the community. Kevon Looney over 7.5 rebounds. He had been at 8.5 rebounds. For whatever reason, they bumped his line down to 7.5. I said, look, there should be more opportunities for Kevon Looney. All the rest of these Golden State Warriors players are ruled out. Anybody who's anybody for Golden State was out. All the starters except for Kevon Looney. He was the only constant in there. And I said, let's take a shot. And Kevon Looney ended up crushing 7.5 rebounds. So we had some wins, but we definitely had some losses in there too. Guys who just didn't get the job done, despite all the sound, solid research we put forward. So there's going to be nights like that. Last night was one of those nights. But the good news is Taco Tuesday, hopefully, is a day and an opportunity for us to get right. Let's check in with the chat. I got Hunter Scott up in here. He says, everyone and their grandma better vote either KD points or SGA points for the taco tonight. Now, what he's talking about, in case you've never heard of what this guy's talking about in terms of voting, you go to the PrizePicks official Discord, okay? Inside the PrizePicks official Discord, they've got the taco bar set up for Taco Tuesday. Typically, during the NBA season, you're going to have 2 groups of NBA players to vote on. So you're going to have a selection of names in one group, a selection of names in another group. You, the people out there who are watching these live streams, you have the opportunity to go and vote for your favorite player from each group. And then you'll have an opportunity to vote once again on your favorite prop for that player. So you get to build your own taco, essentially. Usually it's 2 NBA players. We'll see how things shake out today, but that's what he's talking about when he's talking about voting. So shout out to Hunter for mentioning that. You got to make sure that you're making a sound decision when you go and vote and build these tacos in the PrizePicks official Discord in the taco bar, okay? So shout out to Hunter. Appreciate you bringing that up. D Visual Arts, Noti Gang, shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Accolade Rhyme says Sabonis was doing great with the assist until he got ejected. I wish I can predict when someone gets ejected so I don't have to pick them. Yeah, ejections would be nice to be able to predict. Blowouts would be nice. Foul trouble would be nice. Injury would be nice. But we can't predict those things. But I understand where you're coming from with that wish. So shout out to Ty. Thanks for being here. Travis A says, let's rock. Love to see that. Mark H. I'll have 2 crispy beef tacos with a side of queso and a fish bowl margarita. My bad. That's at Vallarta's tonight. Happy Taco Tuesday, y'all. Happy Taco Tuesday to you as well, Mark. It's always a great day. Tuesday morning, we get to look forward to see what these tacos have in store for us throughout the day. Kyle says, brutal Monday. Time to smash some props and some tacos. Yeah, hope you packed an appetite. Punchline says, good morning, gang. Let's get to the bag. Good morning to you as well. Drew Breeze says, let's ride. Good morning, Patreon gang. Good morning to you, Drew Breeze. You flex, I flex back. King United, DFS isn't going to be 10.5 points anymore. Yeah, he hit it again last night. Shout out to DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith. Rashawn says, very much appreciated, coach. Like button has been smashed. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. As I said, lofty goals. Once again, 200 likes. Listen, there's about 2,000 of you folks out there watching these videos. I think 200 likes is an easily attainable goal. We should be hitting 200 likes every freaking day. I'm just saying. Ronald's Green, what's up to you? Tony Ruiz, good morning, CJ and the group. Taco Tuesday. Tony, one of our Patreon members. Ronald's Green, Patreon members. Well, Brandon Luck Wilson is in this thing. I see you, Brandon. I see you. Desmond Cox, let's get it. Chris Smith coming through with an early super chat. Shout out to you, Chris. He says, good morning. Man, I am on fire. I hit 2 5-pick plays last night for $1,000. That's a 10x payout. This is to show my appreciation and your hard work to get us the gold picks, man. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Like I said, never come on here expecting a super chat from anybody, but when they come through, man, it lights me up inside. So I appreciate you, Chris, for leaving that super chat. I'm glad that my content is helping you out. Nick, good morning to you. Eric Anthony says, pray for me, CJ. My last 8 power plays have all been 1 pick from hitting. Not sure how much more I can take. You might want to start flexing. You might want to bring your entry amounts down. Go into safety mode, as I like to call it. The safest way you could play on PrizePicks, 2-pick plays for flex. You flex those 2-pick plays, lower your entry amount a little bit. If you're in a rough spot, a rough patch, there ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want to keep playing, but you want to play with the training wheels on or the bumpers up, that's a bowling reference, by the way, playing with the bumpers up for all you bowlers out there, there's nothing wrong with taking your entry amount down. There's nothing wrong with going down to 2-pick entries and maybe even flexing them. You double up your money if you hit. If you only get 1 out of 2 right, you get half your money back. Listen, you got to change the strategy up sometimes. Trill Fate's in here, dropping the taco. Shout out to you for joining me this morning. Everyday Fantasy, a.k.a. Don P. 111. Good morning, everybody. After a 2 for 4 night, I'm going back in. Sadiq Bey, 1.5, 8.5 points. Or sorry, Sadiq Bey first half, 8.5 points. Yeah, Sadiq Bey, he fell off a cliff after the first half. I don't know what happened to him. He had like 9 first half points. The game went into overtime. Sadiq Bey did not make another basket in the second half. So that was kind of weird. Zach Gill, what's up to you? Thanks for being here. Matt B says, can anyone help me actually win today? Maybe. I would say spend a little more time in the research, man. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's a lock. Nothing's for sure. I mean, you can only do what you can do. Do your best. Aaron Rodgers, what's good with you? Thanks for being here. Jeremy, shout out to you. Let's see. Who else we got in here? Effin' Props Guy. My man, Effin' Props Guy. He's holding it down in the NHL channels inside of our Patreon community. Shout out to you, Mr. Effin' Props Guy. Doing his thing, man. Very good information being shared daily by Effin' Props Guy when it comes to some NHL prop research. Osmosis Jones says, what's good, folks? Let's get this money. 1 community lock per day. Make the money come quicker. I like that. Cade Matthews, Taco Tuesday. He's pumped up. Shout out to Stanley, already dropping some plays in the chat for everybody. Chris says, CJ, what's good, bro? Happy Taco Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday to you, my friend. Rocket Sauce last night was pretty brutal. Let's flip the script tonight. That's right. We got to have short-term memories. Short-term memories. Goat's in the building. Shout out to Goat. Yanni D. Good rising, everyone. And CJ Curry himself. That's right. I'm here in the flesh, live and in living color. I am Bino Cartel. Yo, CJ, you good, brother? I'm good. Are you good, brother? What's that supposed to mean? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm fine. Thank you for asking, though. Thank you for asking. Duncan, Maxi and Beef Stew, SMH. Yeah, shaking my head too, man. Maxi did get it done, though, if you took his 3-point prop at 1.5. I think we talked about that one yesterday. They ended up pulling it off the board, but Maxi came through clutch late. Super freaking late. But he did come through. Otherwise, pretty ugly night for Tyrese Maxey overall. So yeah, man, shout out to everybody. You know, if there's anybody that I missed, then, you know, sorry I missed you. But some of you guys making Calvin Ridley jokes. All right, Calvin Ridley jokes. I see Calvin Ridley in the chat today. Somebody changed their name to freaking Calvin Ridley. Oh, you crazy. Yeah, Colby says he loves me, but he's sorry for being mean to the haters in the chat. Hey, that's all right. That's all right. You ain't got to be mean to anybody. Let people do what they want to do. Some people are going to support. Some people are going to be crusty crabs, all right? Anyway, shout out to Antoine for joining us. Let's get into today's NBA slate. We got to break it down game by game. Then we'll get into the prop talk. Appreciate everybody being here. Slap the like button. You know the drill. We're going to run this thing up to 200 plus likes. Once again, I'm doing it with you guys. You guys are doing it with me. Run those likes up. You know, continue to support. I'll continue showing up and trying to help you guys in any way that I can, okay? Sounds like a deal to me. So let's get down to business here. 7 p.m. tip-off time on the East Coast. We got the Brooklyn Nets and the Charlotte Hornets. 239 points. Love the total from this game. 3.5-point spread. Keep an eye on the injury news for both of these teams. Nothing real impactful. But you got Cam Thomas, game time decision. Over on the other side, you got McDaniels, a game time decision. Out for Charlotte. Gordon Hayward, he's not coming back. He's continuing to rest, to sit out with his injury. On the flip side, sounds like Joe Harris is going to have season-ending surgery. He will not be back for Brooklyn this season from the sound of things. LaMarcus Aldridge out as well. I think they said for at least the next 2 games. So no LMA for Brooklyn. Pretty decent, impactful piece of injury news there. And then Ben Simmons, the big news about Ben Simmons, he's going to be joining the Brooklyn Nets on the bench. He's going to be sitting with his teammates. That was the most big breaking news about Ben Simmons recently. So, wow, you know, making slow and steady progress, it sounds like, to take the basketball court this season. He'll be on the bench, guys. He's getting a little bit closer. You know, first you go from not joining your team in Philadelphia, then you go to Brooklyn. You're on a new team. Then you're on the bench. Next step is hopefully he goes out there and plays some basketball. That would be nice, wouldn't it? To see Ben Simmons play some basketball? Maybe it wouldn't be. Last time we saw Ben Simmons play basketball, it wasn't the nicest thing ever. Anyway, 7 p.m. Phoenix Suns at the Orlando Magic, 220.5 points, 5.5-point spread. The Phoenix Suns are the favorites on the road. Got a lot of injury news from this game. Chris Paul, Devin Booker still out for the Phoenix Suns. Cam Johnson also out for Phoenix. We got Saric and Kaminsky also out. Over on the Orlando side, Jonathan Isaac and Bol both out for Orlando. But it looks like maybe we would get Wendell Carter Jr. back in the starting lineup. The biggest one to keep your eye out on is probably Jalen Suggs. He is a game-time decision. If he doesn't play, I'd imagine maybe Markelle Fultz slides into the starting lineup and plays alongside Cole Anthony. That might be a fun sight to see. But 220.5, 5.5-point spread, looking like a pretty good game to target. 7 p.m., the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Indiana Pacers. Karis LeVert has already been ruled out for Indiana. Wait, for Cleveland. He's not with Indiana. He's with Cleveland. He's definitely with Cleveland now. 223 points in this game, 3-point spread. So no LeVert, no Sexton, and no Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen apparently broke his finger, fractured it pretty bad. He's going to miss, I don't know how many games, but he's going to be out a while. So it'll be Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, and maybe Seti Osman joins the starting lineup at the 3 spot. Over on the Indiana side, Goga Batadze, Chris Duarte, both game time decisions, as well as Lance Stevenson. We got McConnell, Warren, Turner, and Rubio all ruled out for Indiana. So it'll be the likes of Brogdon, Halliburton, some Buddy Hield holding things down. They got like a 3-guard lineup they've been running out there. That should be a a fun little game. Looking at the next game, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, New Orleans Pelicans at the Memphis Grizzlies. We got 231.5 points, pretty solid total on the board. Just a 5.5 point spread, so hopefully it truly does stay close and competitive. No new injury news for New Orleans. It's the same old, and same situation for Memphis. The only guy that's out is Dylan Brooks, but he's been out for a while now, so nothing new there. So this one, nice total, decent competitive spread. I think full game props probably all in play. Milwaukee Bucks at the Oklahoma City Thunder, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We got 230.5 points. It is a 13-point spread, so major blowout implications here. This one's probably going to get out of hand. Milwaukee, a much better team than Oklahoma City. We got Brook Lopez, Pat Connaughton, George Hill, and Grayson Allen all out for the Milwaukee Bucks. Looking at the OKC side, Isaiah Roby, game time decision. Otherwise, they got a long list of names. Muscala, Robinson Earl, Williams, Favors, Dort, Jerome, and Giddey. Yes, Giddey is still out. It sounds like he's going to remain out for the foreseeable future. So lots of different names out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are outmatched in this game. So definitely expecting this blowout to come to fruition with this 13-point spread. Probably first half only for me if you want to take some overs and you want to mitigate any potential risk that a blowout carries. You could play first half overs in this game and feel A-okay. 10 p.m., the last game of the night, Los Angeles Clippers at the Golden State Warriors. We've got a battle of two California teams. 223 points on the board for this one. 5.5 point spread in favor of the Golden State Warriors. Long list of names for the Clippers. It's pretty much the same starting lineup that they've been running out for the last handful of games. Zubac at center. We got Batum and Morris at the forward spots, and Mann and Jackson in the backcourt. For Golden State, they rested darn near everybody, like I talked about last night. But those players look like they're going to be back tonight. The only ones that we have that are confirmed out right now, James Wiseman, Draymond Green. Otherwise, game time decisions for Iguodala, Porter, and Peyton II. So 223 points on that one, 5.5 point spread. So there you go. That is the name of the game. That is your slate. All wrapped up with a bow on top for you guys. Shout out to everybody who's just now getting here. Happy birthday to Isaac. Shout out to Isaac. Happy birthday. Gets the happy birthday shout out here live on the air on the best player prop PrizePicks channel and show in the universe. Man, you must feel special, Isaac. You must feel special. Anyway, let's get down to business, guys. We got a lot of player props to discuss. We're going to be using Props.cash. If you're not familiar with Props.cash, it's changed the way that I do my player prop research. You could join for the rest of the NBA season for just $69.99. Or if you want to take it month by month, just dip your toe in the water. You can get your first month at a 25% discount by using promo code Curry at checkout. There's a link down in the description below to get you started on Props.cash. Let's go ahead and sign in and get things loaded up here on Props.cash. We'll also be using this little DVP chart, which is nice and handy to have. Thank you to Fantasy Pros. Totally free for you guys to get this. Just go out to Google, type in Fantasy Pros, type in FanDuel DVP, and this should pop right up for you. And then we're also going to be using Action Labs and their player prop projections. Action Labs are part of Fantasy Labs, so they're going to be helping us with our player prop projections. We'll be using some StatMuse, I'm sure, from time to time. And then NumberFire is another free site for you to go out there and do some player prop research. They offer a plethora of projections for a number of different sites. But back to Props.cash we go. We're going to start things off by looking at the last 10 games using the NBA player prop trends page here on Props.cash. Why we are looking at the last 10 games, it's more of a recent sample size, but not so recent that, things are skewed in any way. So a good sample size, last 10 games, and then we're going to be looking at the props, obviously starting things off with points. So let's do just that. The first guy on the board that stands out here is going to be Bruce Brown's point prop at 9.5. He's been hitting this at an 80% hit rate. Bruce Brown not up on the PrizePicks board, so we cannot discuss him, but if you could get him somewhere else, maybe you consider some Bruce Brown. A guy that we can talk about that is on the board is Kyrie Irving at 23.5 points over the last 10 games that he's participated in. He has covered this in 7 out of 10. So let's use the search function here and go find ourselves some Kyrie Irving, aka Uncle Drew. Kyrie Irving, you can see over the course of this season, 24.7 points per game on average, which is higher than the 23.5. That's why it's highlighted in green. Shout outs to Props.Cash for making things very easy with the green and the red. It's just, no brainer, right? You don't even have to think about it. Last 10 games, he's averaging 26.1 points. And then the last 5 games, he is averaging 28.8 points. So you see the averages for Kyrie Irving starting to climb. Season versus last 10 versus last 5, his averages are going up. Looking at this matchup for Kyrie against Charlotte, not a defense that we're really all that afraid of. They rank 28th in total points allowed, 20th in field goal percentage allowed, 29th in three-pointers allowed, 20th in three-point field goal percentage, and 23rd in free throws allowed. Really, the only thing that's a knock against Kyrie Irving in this matchup is the fact that Charlotte does rank 8th against opposing point guards, but I'm not too worried about that. No previous games from this season, Kyrie Irving versus the Charlotte Hornets, so we can't look at that. But what we can look at is the DVP, like we talked about, defense versus position. We're going to be looking at the last 7 games. How has the Charlotte Hornets defense done in the points category against point guards? Well, we can take a look at that right now. We'll go over to the points column. We're going to go down and find the Charlotte Hornets and see how their defense has fared. They're giving up about 23.1 points per game. You can see over the last 7 games. Puts them like middle of the pack, down toward the bottom. The further down the bottom, the harder the matchup. So somewhat difficult, but not too concerning in terms of this matchup for Kyrie Irving. You can kind of see where Charlotte ranks here, right? Cool. So now let's move it over here. Let's get you a projection using the projection models provided by Action Labs. We got Kyrie Irving projected for 24.9 points. That's about 25 points, which is higher than 23.5. So the models liking Kyrie Irving in this spot. Now, at 23.5 points, we've got him on a number of different sports books. We're seeing some action on the over. We're seeing some action on the under, and we're seeing some sites where there's no action, over or under, even money. So it seems like the betting public all over the place with Kyrie Irving at 23.5 points. But he's definitely one to keep an eye out on. He's been playing very good basketball. Like I said, 70% hit rate over the last 10 games. Tyrese Halliburton, another guy at 15.5 points. His point prop has come down quite a bit since Malcolm Brogdon re-entered the starting lineup and the rotations for the Indiana Pacers. Brogdon has kind of taken on that lead scorer role for Indiana, which means Tyrese Halliburton's not eating quite as good as he was when he first got to the team. So Tyrese Halliburton, 15.5 points. He's taken on Cleveland, has covered this prop in 7 out of his last 10 games. Let's pull Halliburton up here using Props.Cash. 15.5 points. For the season, he's averaging 15, which is less than 15.5, but the last 10 games, 18.6. Last 5 games, 17.8. And then against Cleveland this season, he's averaging 17.3 points. You can see what he's done in his last 2 games. Been struggling a little bit. Had just 8 points against Detroit on March 4th, 15 against Washington. Close, but no cigar. Would not have covered today's prop of 15.5, which is why this is in red. Very simple to read on Props.Cash. Now we look at what he's done against Cleveland this season. He's faced the Cavaliers 3 times. 3 times this season. He went under as a member of the Sacramento Kings back on December 11th with just 8 points. January 10th, still on the Kings at this point, 21 points. And then against Cleveland on February 11th, he had 23 points. I want to say that he was with Indiana at this point. I don't think that's wrong. I think he was a Pacer at this point. So anyway, he's went over in 2 out of 3 games, 67% hit rate versus Cleveland. We look at the Cleveland defense, a lot of red on the board. They are one of the best defensive teams, but they will be out without some of their better players, one being Jarrett Allen. No longer having that dominant presence in the middle. Maybe things start to open up. Maybe teams, guards, etc. can find their way to the hoop a little bit easier. So guys who like to slash, maybe they slash a little bit more without Jarrett Allen in the middle. Looking at the metrics here, though, they do rank 1st in points allowed, 5th in field goal percentage allowed, 4th in three-pointers allowed. The weakest spot, I guess, would be their 3-point field goal percentage allowed, but even that's still pretty good at just 11th. 1st in free throws allowed, and 7th in point guard defense. So pretty tough matchup for Halliburton across the board. And the last 2 games have not been so kind to Mr. Tyrese Halliburton. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the point guard position. Cleveland giving up about 22 points, we'll call it, to opposing point guards. Now, it sounds like a lot of points, But when you look at it, that is the 8th fewest over the last 7 games. So that's kind of a difficult matchup. Now, because the argument could be made that Tyrese Halliburton, Malcolm Brogdon are both kind of combo guards, not really truly point guards, not really truly shooting guards. We're going to also look at the shooting guard spot and see what Cleveland's been giving up there. They are giving up about 24 to 25 points to shooting guards in the last 7 games. So you can kind of see where they rank, where they fall in line there. That is the 7th most. So a lot harder matchup for the point guard versus the shooting guard when facing off against today's opponent, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Moving it ahead here, let's get you a projection using these player prop projection models. I got Tyrese Halliburton right on the money, 15.5 projected points. His line is also 15.5 on every sports book, and he's 15.5 over on PrizePicks. So this is one of those ones where it really truly could be a coin flip. He could easily go for 15. He could easily make you sweat it and hit 16. The betting public, though, is leaning toward the over. 3 different books, 2 out of 3. We're seeing action on the over at Halliburton at 15.5. So there's another guy who's been getting it done at a pretty high clip. The next dude hitting at a 70% hit rate is CJ McCollum of the New Orleans Pelicans. I think the Pelicans really got themselves a heck of a deal. Maybe even a steal in CJ McCollum. He seems to have taken to this team really, really well, like a fish in water kind of thing. Imagine if they had Zion Williamson too. How scary this unit would be. But anyway, CJ McCollum at 22.5 points, 7 for 10. So let's talk about him. Let's look at him a little bit closer here. McCollum just been getting the job done in a number of different categories, but especially his points props. We look at what he's done here over the last 10 games, averaging 26.1 points. His averages have fallen off quite a bit by nearly 3 points. In the last 5 games, he's averaging 23.8 points. So the scoring average is starting to come down. Now, a lot of that has to do with this 17-point performance against Sacramento. He had 22 against LA. So 2 games where he went under in his last 5 games. We take a look at this matchup against Memphis. He has faced Memphis twice this season. In both of those games, he did go over his point prop of 22.5. Dropped 25 and 30 against the Grizzlies in 2 matchups this season. Looking at this Memphis defense, there's a whole lot of yellow on here, meaning this is kind of an average defense. Middle of the pack defense, nothing too scary here that's going to make me say fade CJ McCollum in any kind of way. Nothing, like I said, that stands out. The biggest thing or biggest knock against him is that shooting guards. Memphis does rank 4th against shooting guards, but I think McCollum's been serving more as a point guard. He's definitely a combo guard, but been serving more as the point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. So we're going to go take a look here and look at the points given up by the Memphis Grizzlies to both point guards and shooting guards to kind of just get a well-rounded idea here. Look, Memphis has given up about 25 points per game to point guards. You can kind of see where they rank just outside the top 10, maybe top 15 most giving in the points column to point guards. And we'll also look at the shooting guard spot. Memphis giving up about 25 points per game to shooting guards. That is the 5th most. So no matter which way you cut it, point guard, shooting guard, CJ McCollum in a pretty good defense versus position spot. Whoo, breaking news, Aaron Rodgers. Not the Aaron Rodgers from our live stream chats. No, not that guy. The actual Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers, Chris Smith saying Aaron Rodgers is coming back to the Packers on a 4-year deal for $200 million. Wow. It's safe to say that Aaron Rodgers is set for life, financially secure. Yeah, Green Bay Packer probably for the rest of his career. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers doing pretty damn good for himself. Good for you, Aaron Rodgers. Again, not the Aaron Rodgers in the chat that you see every day here. The actual Aaron Rodgers, number 12 for the Green Bay Packers. Huge contract, though. Man, crazy. Anyway, back on track here. Matchup looking pretty good for CJ McCollum. He's covered in both of his games versus Memphis this season. The DVP doesn't look bad, so let's get you a projection here. Mr. McCollum projected for 22.3 points. That's, in the neighborhood of 22.5 or 23 points. It's close enough for me to feel okay. And then we're looking at the action across 4 different sports books. He is a betting favorite to go over on 4 different sites, so that should make you feel pretty good too. The betting public liking the over on McCollum. couple of other guys hitting at a 70% hit rate. Terry Rozier, we talked about Kyrie Irving in that game against Brooklyn against Charlotte, rather. Let's talk about Terry Rozier for a second, because as I mentioned, a 70% hit rate for him, meaning he's gone over 20.5 points in 7 out of 10. So I think Rozier is probably somebody that is worth digging into a little bit further here. So we look at the season averages, 19.4, that's less than 20.5, but things have really started to pick up for Rozier when you look at the last 10 games and you look at the last 5. And I think a lot of this has to do with Gordon Hayward being out for the Charlotte Hornets. Business has picked up for scary Terry Rozier in the scoring department. So 23.9 in the last 10, 26.6 in his last 5 games. I mean, you look at the last 5, dominant. The only game he really struggled was against Milwaukee with just 17 points, but he comes back strong with 29 and 31 respectively. No previous matchups against the Brooklyn Nets for us to take a look at this season, but we can go down and look at the Brooklyn defense. 21st in total points allowed, 14th in field goal percentage, 14th in three-pointers allowed, 8th in three-point field goal percentage, 18th in free throws allowed, and 10th in point guard defense. But gotta love the total on this game. It's nearly 240 points, one of the highest totals on the board. And then on top of that, the spread, just 3.5 points. I think this is the type of game where Terry Rozier could possibly excel in this matchup. Let's go take a look at the DVP and see what the Brooklyn Nets have been doing over the last 7 games. They're giving up about 22 points per game to shooting guards, which is a pretty nice amount. You see where they rank right in the middle of the pack. Again, not an overly difficult nor overly easy matchup for Terry Rozier. So I'd be leaning toward the over from what I've seen so far. But last but not least, we're going to get you a projection. His projected points, 19.7, pretty close to the 20.5. It's not over. No, it's not over. Cross-reference this, though. Look at NumberFire, RotoWire, Betting Pros. They all have a number of different free player prop projections out there for you to take a look at. See how the 19.7 compares to some of these other sites. But listen, 19.7, close enough for me to feel all right about taking the over at 20.5. Now we're seeing him at 20.5 on 4 different sites, 4 different books. He is a betting favorite on 2 of the 4 sites at this moment. So the public is liking him to go over at 20.5. The last guy on the board, Isaiah Jackson of the Indiana Pacers. I won't spend any time talking about him, but at 10.5 points, 70% hit rate. If Goga Bitadze is out, then I would expect that Isaiah Jackson steps into more minutes and therefore probably more opportunities to shoot the basketball. No Jarrett Allen. Maybe the matchup is a little easier for Isaiah Jackson. Some other guys to consider at 60%, Seth Curry, LaMelo Ball, Darius Garland. All of their points props over the last 10 games have hit 6 out of 10. So there you go. That is the name of the game when it comes to points props. Let's go ahead and take a look at some assist props over on PrizePicks. And while I take a little sip of water, you guys can assist me by smashing the like button. If you just got here and you haven't done your duty yet, do something for God and country. Hit that like button. The community thanks you for it. We're trying to help as many folks as possible through this medium, through this platform, through these videos. By you hitting the like button, it helps spread the word, get the information out, get more eyeballs on this content, which is the name of the game. That's where you come in. Do the damn thing. Hit that like button. Perfecto. Thank you so much for doing that for me. Now here's what I'm going to do for you. Break down some of these assist props. We got Buddy Hield at 3.5 dimes on the Props.Cash NBA player prop trends page, but Buddy Hield not making an appearance on the PrizePicks board at this juncture. So we'll skip over him, but if you can take Buddy Hield somewhere at 3.5 assists, 80% hit rate, not looking too shabby. We just got done talking about Terry Rozier and his assists. He is not up on the PrizePicks board at the moment, but at 5.5 dimes, 7 out of 10. So you could play Rozier for points, you could play him for assists, or points, assists, rebounds. Maybe he's a PRA play. Just saying, throwing it out there. Maybe Terry Rozier makes for a fine PRA play. Seth Curry's assists are at 2.5 for the Brooklyn Nets. Another guy who's not up on the board today, but if you can get him at 2.5 somewhere, maybe you take Seth Curry. Miles Bridges, 3.5 assists. We can talk about him. He is up on the PrizePicks board at 3.5 dimes. Over the last 10 games, has covered this prop in 7 out of 10. So let's take a closer look at Miles Bridges. We'll dial things in here using props.cash. Typing in Miles Bridges, not to be confused with Mikal Bridges of the Suns. This is Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets, okay? All right, good. So over the last 10 games, Miles Bridges at 3.5 assists. He's covered this prop in 7 of 10, 70% hit rate for the season, averaging 3.7 dimes. For the last 10 games, 4.5. For the last 5 games, 4.8. So we're seeing the assist averages start to climb for Miles Bridges. Things are looking pretty good. Checking in on some previous matchups versus Brooklyn this season. He has not played Brooklyn since October 24th. It's been a long time, a long wait. But back on October 24th, he had just 2 assists in that game. So I'm not putting too much faith or too much weight on that previous game. It was a long time ago at the start of the season. Charlotte Hornets roster, a lot different back then than it is now. Gordon Hayward probably healthy and played, I'm assuming. I'd have to look into it further. But anyway, my man Bridges has been showing much better form lately in the last 10, and especially the last 5 games when it comes to dropping dimes, all right? So we're not too concerned with what happened all the way back in October. Anyway, looking at the matchup, Brooklyn giving up the 13th most assists allowed at 24 assists allowed per game. So pretty decent matchup when it comes to assists. Now Bridges, for my money, is probably a power forward. We'll look at Brooklyn, see how many assists they've been giving up to power forwards. We don't have to go down very far. We don't have to look very hard because they're giving up the 4th most assists to power forwards in the last 7 games. That is 5.1 assists. He needs 4. So the matchup looks pretty friendly here for Miles Bridges versus the Brooklyn Nets when it comes to the assist props. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a projection then for Mr. Bridges. I've got Miles Bridges, like I said, not to be confused with Mikal Bridges of the Suns. Miles Bridges, 3.7 projected assists, slightly more than the 3.5. We got him at 3.5 across 3 different sites, 3 different books, minus 125 betting favorite to go over. So the public is liking the over on Bridges today. And I tend to agree. High hit rates, good DVP, projections seem to be there. I could see why the betting public's taking it. High total, right? Close spread. There's a lot to like about this prop. A lot to like about it. Some other guys to maybe consider. You got Mason Plumlee at 2.5 assists. He is not up on the PrizePicks board today. Brandon Ingram, 70% hit rate for him at 5.5 dimes. He is up on the board, so we can talk about some BI. He is the last of the Mohicans. He's the last of the 70% or higher guys when it comes to assist props right now. So let's take a look at Brandon Ingram, or as I like to call him, B.I. Andale, mommy, B.I. Uh-oh. That's Nelly. I know a lot of you kids out there don't know who Nelly is, but that's Nelly. Anyway, Brandon Ingram, 5.5 assists. You can see in the last 10 games, Mr. Ingram has been balling. 7 for 10, 70% hit rate. He's currently riding a 6-game hit streak. 8, 7, 8, 6, 6, and 9. Killing it. He has not missed this prop since the All-Star break. So Brandon Ingram definitely been showing some very good form when it comes to dropping dimes in the last 5. 7.2 assists per game on average. So we go take a look at previous matchups versus Memphis. He's faced Memphis twice this season. Had 4 back on November 13th. Had 4 again back on February 15th. But I think ever since CJ McCollum has joined the team, things have really started to take off for Brandon Ingram in terms of being more of that dime dropping small forward. We look at the Memphis defense here. They give up the 21st most assists allowed to opposing teams, over 25 assists per game. So things are looking good there. And then we talked about the totals earlier, 231.5, very nice totals, 5.5 point spread. So I think full game props like this one probably going to be definitely in play here. So looking at the DVP, defense versus position, you can see that the Memphis Grizzlies are giving up the 4th most assists per game to opposing small forwards, 4.7, nearly 5 assists per game. So they're giving up plenty of assists to small forwards like Brandon Ingram. And it kind of correlates with the CJ McCollum point prop, right? Maybe McCollum, if we like the over on McCollum's points, Brandon Ingram maybe being more of that setup guy, dropping those dimes left and right. Might have a little 1-2 punch there. Things kind of correlating well together. Let's also look at the power forward spot. See how many assists that Memphis has given up to opposing power forwards just for fun. Herbert Jones, for my money, is probably more of the power forward. But anyway, 2.8 assists allowed. A lot more difficult matchup when you look at power forwards and the assists allowed by Memphis in the last 7 games. Now, last but not least, we got to get you a projection. Got him projected for 5.3 assists. He's at 5.5 on PrizePicks. This is pretty close. It's more than 5. No, it's not more than 5.5, but it is more than 5. Maybe there's a chance he hits 6. The betting public on 3 different sites taking the over. We're seeing strong juice. Minus 140, odds, in fact. Minus 140 on some books for him to go over 5.5. So there you go. Brandon Ingram. Like I said, he's the last guy up on today's prop trend page provided by props.cash, who's hitting at a 70% or greater hit rate. There's a lot of guys at 60% too. Tyrese Halliburton, Steven Adams, Kevin Durant for their assist props, all at a 60% hit rate. If you want to talk about those, if you have questions about any more of the assist props, hold them for about the 1 hour mark, and then I'll take your questions and stuff then. Let's continue to move through the rest of these player prop trends provided by props.cash. We're going to take a look at rebounds next. Got a couple of guys up at the top of the board here, top of the list. Buddy Hield and CJ McCollum both hitting at an 80% hit rate on their rebound props. So we've talked McCollum for points. I think somebody mentioned McCollum for assists in the chat. And now we're talking McCollum for rebounds. So that's a PRA play all day, right? Maybe CJ McCollum for PRA is also an option for you. Let's take a look and see. Do we have Buddy Hield up on the board? Doesn't look like we've got Buddy up on the board for anything today. But Buddy Hield at 4.5 assists at 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 rebounds has been hitting at a pretty good clip. CJ McCollum is up for rebounds. We've already talked about him for points. Maybe you also look at his rebounds at an 80% hit rate versus Memphis. That one looks like a pretty good play. Let's dig into that one. Looks like the betting public anyway thinks it's a good play. Of course, they've been wrong before, but we're gonna do some digging here on CJ McCollum's rebound prop. So if you don't like his points, maybe you consider his rebounds. It looks like over the last 10 games, he's hit this number in 8 out of 10, an 80% hit rate. In fact, since returning from the All-Star break, my man has covered in 5 games in a row. We look at the last 5 games, you get an idea of what he's been up to. 5 for 5, 100%. Now, all good things must come to an end at some point, but I'm not saying that this is coming to an end tonight. I'm just saying that, eventually he's going to have one of those games, right? It's going to be one of them games. Now, he's faced Memphis twice this season. I think both of these games came when he was with the Portland Trail Blazers, but he did cover his 4.5 rebounds in both previous games as a member of the Blazers. 6 rebounds versus Memphis, October 27th. 6 rebounds versus Memphis, February 15th. So he covered in both of his previous matchups versus the Grizzlies. So he's riding a 5-game hot streak. He's covered 2 for 2 versus Memphis, albeit when he was a member of the Portland Trail Blazers. But there's a lot to like about CJ McCollum today. We look at the Memphis defense, 6th in rebounds allowed. They rank 10th and 6th in offensive and defensive rebounds. So on paper, the matchup not looking too friendly here for McCollum. So we're going to go look at the point guard and shooting guard spots and see how many rebounds Memphis has been allowing over the last 7 games. Starting things off with the point guard position, 5.2 rebounds. Now he needs 5 to get the job done, so they're giving up 5.2. Not a whole lot of margin there, right? Pretty thin margin. 6th fewest rebounds allowed to point guards in the last 7 games. We look at the shooting guard spot. Memphis Grizzlies allowing 5.6 rebounds. Again, kind of low ranking here. You see where they fall in line, down toward the bottom. Again, down toward the bottom, meaning a more difficult matchup. So things are looking kind of tough for CJ McCollum in the rebound department. We're going to go pull up a projection. I do have him projected for 4.7 boards, but I will bring this to your attention. He's at 4.5 rebounds on PrizePicks, but he is at 5.5 rebounds on every sportsbook out there. So we are getting a rebound value, 1 rebound value on PrizePicks at 4.5. At 5.5, yes, the public's taking the under. But at 4.5, maybe we consider the over, being that we are getting a rebound of value versus some of these sports books. Just throwing it out there, all right? Just throwing it out there. Some other guys getting the job done here at a 70% hit rate. We got three different ones to choose from. You got Mason Plumlee, Steven Adams, and Herbert Jones. Who? Herbert Jones. Who? Herbert Jones. 3.5 rebounds. That's a Mike Jones reference. Yeah, I'm taking it back, guys. Nelly, Mike Jones. This formed my teenage years, this music, okay? So forgive me. Forgive me if you don't know who the hell I'm talking about. Some of you youngins out there. Herbert Jones at 3.5 rebounds. 70% hit rate. He's going up against Memphis today. Let's take a look at Mr. Herbert Jones and see if he is worth taking an over or an under on today. Last 10 games, averaging 4.1 boards. So he's not a big, volume rebounder type of guy. It's probably going to end up being a sweat if you do take the over. But he's getting 4.6 boards over the last 5 games. He's done a really good job here covering in the last 7 games. He's gone 6 out of 7. So pretty good hit rate for Mr. Jones. Now we look at previous matchups against the Memphis Grizzlies. You see he's faced the Grizzlies twice this season. He covered in both games. 6 rebounds on November 13th. 4 rebounds, definitely a sweat. 4 rebounds, though, on February 15th. So he's gone 2 for 2 against Memphis this season. 6 out of his last 7. Again, the defense versus position, not the greatest in the world. Memphis, 6th in total rebounds, 10th in offensive, and 6th in defensive. Talked about that when we discussed McCollum, but you could go McCollum or you could go Jones here, but maybe Jones is the better option. Let's take a look at the DVP. We'll start things off by looking at small forwards versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis giving up 6.8 rebounds to opposing small forwards. Now, they rank pretty low, meaning this is a difficult matchup. It is the 6th fewest rebounds, but he needs just 4. They're giving up nearly 7. So there's a little bit of upside here, a little bit of ceiling for Herbert Jones. We look at the power forward position. Memphis giving up 11.1 rebounds to opposing power forwards. Much easier time here. That is the ninth most rebounds to power forwards. So they're giving up over 11. He needs just 4. Okay, doable. I would say it's doable. Looking up Herbert Jones here, we got him projected for 2.3 boards. That is less than 3.5. But then we see his number. Oop, my B. Back it up, rewind, flip it, and reverse it. He's projected for 4.4 rebounds, more than 3.5. We were on assists before. 4.4 rebounds is the projection at 3.5 rebounds. 3 different sites, 3 different books, minus 140. Pretty strong odds. A lot of juice coming in on the over for Herbert Jones at 3.5 boards. So, yeah, man, maybe we really consider some Herbert Jones. The betting public all over the over at 3.5. Who else we got up here? We talked about Steven Adams. He's hitting at a 70% clip. Mason Plumlee also hitting at a 70% clip. Let's see, do we have Mason Plumlee on the board? No Plumlee, but we can talk about some Steven Adams here. Steven Adams, 70% hit rate at 10.5, but it looks like we're getting some value, some discount on Steven Adams rebounds. So you can see at 10.5, he has covered this 7 out of 10. He's averaging 11.7 in the last 10 games, 12.12 in the last 5. Now, a lot of that's being bolstered or boosted by this 21 rebound performance he had against Chicago, but he has had some real stinkers, 8 against Boston, 6 against Orlando. If we bump this from 10.5 down to 10, nothing really changes, still at a 70% hit rate. Now, this is a little bit of a revenge game for Steven Adams, who used to be a member of the New Orleans Pelicans. So he'll be battling it out for the guy he was traded for, Jonas Valanciunas, who has taken his spot on New Orleans, and he has taken Joe Val's spot on Memphis. So a little bit of role reversal here for these two giants. 2 games this season, he had 9 rebounds against New Orleans on November 13th, 13 boards on February 15th, the more recent matchup. So he's 1 for 2, or 50% at covering his rebound prop versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Looking at the matchup, NOP, their defense, 3rd in rebounds allowed, 4th in offensive, and 4th in defensive. Kind of a tough matchup. Speaking of matchup, we go to the center spot. We're going to look at the last 7 games, see how many boards that the New Orleans Pelicans are giving up to opposing centers. Things look pretty good here. They're giving up over 17 rebounds to centers in their last 7 games. That is the 6th most. Steven Adams already discounted from 10.5 down to 10. They're giving up the 6th most, over 17 boards per game. Maybe there's a path to an over here for Steven Adams. I do have him projected for 11.5 rebounds, which is more than 10. And then we got him at 10.5 rebounds on 3 different books. All 3, we're seeing them bet the under, minus 135 odds. So half a rebound value on Steven Adams at 10. What are you guys thinking? Thumbs up if you're taking the over on Steven Adams rebounds. Thumbs down if you think you're going to take the under on Steven Adams rebounds, or maybe just fade it. Thumbs up for the over on Steven Adams at 10 rebounds. Thumbs down if you're going to go ahead and fade that one. Or take the under. You can take the under too. Unders are always in play, guys. So those are your 70% hitters and rebounds. We got some other guys at 60% hit rates. Bruce Brown of the Nets, Seth Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, Kyrie Irving, all hitting their rebound props at a 60% hit rate. If you want, we could talk about those more in depth. Leave a question for me at the end of the stream, and I'll get into those if you wish. Looking at some of the PRA plays, we've talked points plus rebounds plus assists. Top of the board here is Tyrese Halliburton at 28.5. We're actually getting him at 27.5 PRA. So Props.Cash has him defaulted at 28.5. Let's talk about Tyrese Halliburton. We haven't really talked about him a whole lot. We talked a little bit about his points, but his PRA at a 90% hit rate. Let's dig in. Let's dig in. So we see what Tyrese Halliburton's been doing over the last 10 games, averaging 33 PRA, last 5 probably more important because most of these games, I think all of these games were with Halliburton as a member of the Pacers, right? He's at 28.5 on Props.Cash. I can bump him down to 27.5 like he is on PrizePicks, but a whole lot does not change. Whole lot doesn't change here. So same hit rates is what I'm trying to say in the last 5 games. 80% in the last 5, 90% in the last 10. But again, for me, the last, we'll call it 6 games or so, probably the more important ones, just the games that he's been a member of the Pacers, so to speak. We look at previous matchups against Cleveland. He's faced Cleveland 3 times, has covered his PRA of 27.5 in 2 out of 3. The 2 most recent games, in fact, he went for 31 and 32 points plus rebounds plus assists. So things looking kind of nice here. Kind of nice here for Tyrese Halliburton. We scroll down. We look at the Cleveland defense. Pretty tough team, though. But Jarrett Allen will be out, so maybe things open up for Tyrese Halliburton. Maybe there's more opportunities for him to slash to the bucket. Maybe there's more opportunities for him to find a rebound. Maybe there's more opportunities for him to drop a dime to one of his big men, being that Jarrett Allen is not in the paint tonight. I think overall, the PRA probably improves for Tyrese Halliburton when you take Jarrett Allen out of the mix. So despite all the red for the Cleveland defense, I'm not too scared. Not too scared about it. Looking at the point guard spot, Cleveland giving up 21, we'll call it 22 points to point guards, about 8 rebounds. That's already over 30 PRA, right? And then they're giving up 11 assists. So like 41, 42 PRA, he needs just 28. Definitely doable. Let's look at the shooting guard spot as well. Cleveland giving up about 25 points, about 7 rebounds. So that's like 32 points plus rebounds, and then 4 assists. So like 36, 37 PRA. I think there's upside here. Doesn't matter if you're a point guard or a shooting guard. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not slowing down opposing backcourts all that much when it comes to PRA. So I think Halliburton, being that we're getting a little bit of a discount, it looks like at 27.5, being that the matchups look pretty good, being that Jarrett Allen is not in for Cleveland, there's a lot to like about Halliburton tonight. Now I'm looking him up here. I do have him at 27.5 on at least one sports book. He is a betting favorite at minus 125 to go over, and his projections sit at 27.8 points plus rebounds plus assists. Are you liking Tyrese Halliburton over 27.5 PRA? Thumbs up. I like to take the temperature of the room. I like to see what you guys are liking, what you're thinking about this prop. It looks pretty good to me. Gang, are you liking it or are you hating it? Tyrese Halliburton, 27.5 PRA. Could be a good one. Who else we got here? Buddy Hield, we talked about him a little bit. His PRA not up on the board today, but out of him and Halliburton, I probably like Halliburton better than Buddy Hield anyways. So if you're going to pick a Pacer PRA prop, it's probably going to be Halliburton from the looks of things. Bruce Brown of the Nets, he's not up on the board for PRA, but at 17.5 PRA, I think Bruce Brown, could be a solid look. Mason Plumlee, not up on the board. He's been getting his PRA done at 16.5, 70% of the time. We talked Steven Adams for rebounds. Of course, Steven Adams for assists have been a very popular play as well. So you got rebounds, you got assists. Maybe his PRA at 22.5 is an option. He's been covering in 70% of his games. We have talked Terry Rozier as well for multiple categories. So no surprise that he would be on the high hit rate for PRA as well. 30.5 PRA, 70% hit rate. And then we got a lot of guys at 60%. We won't get into all of these, but shout out to CJ McCollum, Seth Curry, Kyrie Irving, O'Shea Brissett, and Desmond Bane, all hitting at a 60% hit rate. Let's take a look at some 3-point makes. We're getting down to the wire here. It's been about an hour of me flapping my gums. In a moment, I'll turn things over to you guys. I'll do a lightning round of player prop research. We'll try to get through as many of your questions and props as humanly possible, as one man can do. I'll do as much as one man can do in the allotted time. So looking at the 3-point takers and makers, who's been getting the job done from beyond the arc? Well, if Seth Curry was on the board at 1.5, I'd say take him because he's been covering in 90% of his games. Kyrie Irving is on the board at 2.5 3-point makes, and he's going up against Charlotte today. He's gone over 2.5 in 70% of his games. So let's talk Kyrie Irving 3-point makes. We'll get things dialed in here on props.cash. Again, if you want to check out props.cash for yourself, I can get you 25% off. Use promo code Curry when you sign up. Go down to the description of this video. Click the link for props.cash and get signed up today. Also, join Discord. Discord's free. There's a whole bunch of folks in there talking player props daily inside of the Discord. I'm going to be doing giveaways. I've already given away 10 2-pick entries to Patreon members to win $100. That's right. 10 free entries were given out to Patreon members to win $100. I'm going to be giving away some free entries to non-Patreon members as well, where everybody can get in on the action. I'll be doing that inside Discord. So go down to the description. Make sure you're not signed up. Make sure that you click the link and join Discord and keep an eye out for future giveaways. I call them free entry Fridays. All right. We'll give you guys an opportunity to win some free entries as well. All right. Kyrie Irving, 3-point makes. You can see what he's done over the last 10 games, 70% hit rate. Averaging 2.4 makes for the season, 2.7 in his last 10, and 2.6 in his last 5. For me, he's always worth a shot, always worth a look in terms of 3-point makes. We know that he's going to have the basketball in his hands quite a bit. He's going to get plenty of shot opportunities. No previous games against Charlotte this season. Maybe we could take a look at last season. Played them 3 times, went over in 1 out of 3. So just a 33% hit rate versus the Hornets at 2.5 threes. Going down here, looking at this matchup, the Charlotte Hornets do give up the second most total 3-pointers in all the league. They rank 29th. They're giving up about 14 3-point makes per game. They're also giving up the 20th highest 3-point field goal percentage at 35%. So things looking pretty good here for 3-point props, especially when you factor in this game has about 240 points between these two teams, and the spread is just 3.5. And I like the fact that Kyrie's had 2 underperforming games. I don't know that he's going to have 3 underperforming games. It just feels like a game for him to kind of get right and to bounce back. I'm basically betting on Kyrie Irving not having another subpar 3-point game for the 3rd time in a row. That's what I'm kind of thinking about here. It's a buy low opportunity, so to speak. Moving it forward, let's go check out the DVP. How many threes are the Charlotte Hornets giving up to point guards in the last 7 games? They're giving up a little bit over 3, which coincidentally is how many Kyrie Irving needs to make tonight to go over his props. You see where they rank toward the top of the list. Also want to look at the shooting guard spot. I like to look at both backcourt positions. The Hornets against shooting guards, they're giving up 2.6. So still a pretty positive matchup in terms of the average amount of 3-point makes allowed. Going down here, we're going to go take a look at the projections for Kyrie Irving. I got Kyrie projected for 2.9 threes. At 2.5, though, the public, slight under, -120 to go under 2.5. So for me, gang, I'm just betting that Kyrie basically doesn't go under 2.5 3-point makes for the 3rd time in a row. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like, this seems like an opportunity for us to kind of buy low, where a guy's been in a slump for 2 games. It just seems like the perfect opportunity, perfect spot for him to kind of get right, to get back on track. Dig into it a little bit further, make up your own mind, but that's just, kind of an idea. LaMelo Ball is also up on the board at 2.5 3-point makes. Ball's been doing a pretty good job at covering his 3-point make prop. I want to say that I played him recently, and he ended up getting the job done for me. That was against the Spurs. That was against the Spurs a couple days ago. So, taking a look at LaMelo Ball at 2.5 threes, you can see over the last 10 games, averaging 3.4 makes. Last 5 games, averaging 2.6 makes. Versus Brooklyn this season, he's played them once. It was all the way back in October. Had just 1 3-point make versus them in that game. We scroll down. Brooklyn giving up the 14th most total threes and the 8th most 3-point field goal percentage. So giving up a lot of total threes, but the 3-point field goal percentage is not the best. We go over to the point guard spot. We go find the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn giving up about 2.6 triples per game to opposing point guards. That's slightly more than the 2.5, meaning LaMelo's got a chance. He's got a chance here. His projected 3-point makes 2.4, but he is a betting favorite to go under at -140 on the only sports book we can reference. So the public not liking LaMelo Ball to go over 2.5. Other 3-point shooters to possibly consider. You got Garland, but he's not up on the PrizePicks board. Tyrese Halliburton's not up here at 60%. Desmond Bane, maybe you take a shot at Bane at 60%. Otherwise, everybody else is at a 50% hit rate. Free throw makes, we're not going to go too in-depth on these, but you kind of know my thoughts from previous live streams if you tuned in. As far as free throw makes go, I typically like the guys who I know are going to be high usage guys. Who's going to have the basketball in their hands? Who's going to be aggressive and not just sit out there and camp the 3-point line? You need to be in the paint, in the weeds, drawing contact, drawing fouls, creating your own shot. So need guys with the basketball in their hands. Need guys who are going to be aggressive. Who's going to be the technical free throw shooter? If there's a tech called, who's going to be that guy to step to the free throw line and be the designated shooter for their team? And in late game situations, when intentional fouls start coming out, who's going to be the guy who's going to be intentionally fouled? And will he shoot a high percentage when he gets to the line? Those are some things to consider. I think a lot of those guys fit the bill. Darius Garland, obviously, high usage guy, designated foul shooter for his team. SGA, very high usage guy, especially without Dort and Giddey. So maybe you look his way. Reggie Jackson's usage has been insane lately. He's been, handling the ball quite a bit for the Clippers. And of course, Giannis. Giannis is one of the top foul shooters when it comes to drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line. Giannis will probably be an option for you as well. I could see the Oklahoma City Thunder just having their hands full with Giannis and not knowing what to do and slapping the shit out of him. Okay, that's what I can see. I could see OKC slapping the shit out of Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight. So maybe you take his free throw makes as well. Blocks and steals. There's just a few of these up on the board. We can use props.cash to kind of reference these. Giannis, Portis, and Zubac are your options. Giannis at 2.5 blocks and steals, 70% hit rate. He is a betting favorite to go over at -125. Again, this is a very young, inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder team. I could see situations where Giannis is swatting some shots, where Giannis is stealing the basketball from this young, inexperienced team. But I do worry about the blowouts. So if he's going to get active on the steals and the blocks, or as we like to call them, stocks. Let's It's going to have to happen in the first 3 quarters or so. Hopefully he gets it done in the first 3 quarters. Otherwise, probably not too interested in Bobby Portis and Ivica Zubac. But Giannis, 70% hit rate. He's leading the pack in terms of hit rates. All right, gang. That's it for me. That's it for me. Holler at your boy if you have questions about any type of player props, if you have questions about any kind of picks or anything like that. This is the time, man. This is the time. Chat, you guys are giving big shout outs to Aaron Rodgers for the new contract. Wow. If this is really Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers in the chat, he's hiding broad daylight, right? Right amongst us. That'd be incredible, wouldn't it? If the real Aaron Rodgers was here. I will tell you this. Aaron Rodgers did send me $10 in Bitcoin. He was doing some kind of thing with Cash App. And I guess he said something about he accepted $1 million of his contract or something in Bitcoin, and he was giving it away to people. So I did receive $10 in Bitcoin from Aaron Rodgers, thanks to Cash App. So that was kind of cool. That's my claim to fame. Looking at some of your questions here. Got Clumsy Pikachu asking about some Chris Middleton over on points. Afan Kaleem is asking, do you like the taco? Listen. I ain't going to sit up here and sell you a lie. I don't know who this man is. Robert Lewandowski. I have no idea who this guy is. He plays for Bayern Munich. Heard of the team. Do I watch proper footy? I do not. I'm not a soccer guy. I cannot sit up here and tell a lie that I like this taco or I dislike this taco. I don't know. All I know is that he's coming in at a discount. And I like discounts, 50% discounts. I mean, he was at 1 goal before, and now he's at a half a goal. So basically, you know, before you could push if he hit 1 goal. Now it's a clean win. I guess. He needs to just make 1 goal now before he needed to make 2 to actually hit the over. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know anything about this guy, if he's good, bad, or indifferent, but you know, it's a discount. You know, it's not meant to be a free square. Things could go wrong. There's a chance that this guy doesn't score a goal today, right? There he is. Speaking of the devil, there he is at 1 goal. All right. I don't know what to do with it though. Listen, we're here talking basketball. I don't know about this. I know about tacos and I know about basketball, but I don't know about soccer or proper footy. All right, not a football guy. I'm an NFL guy, not a pro football guy, not a soccer guy. So I'm going to defer to probably some people in our community who do follow soccer when it comes to this. But anyway, I don't know, Afan Kaleem. I don't know if I like that taco, but I will consult with my experts in Discord later before this taco expires. Clumsy Pikachu, back to you. You're asking about Chris Middleton points. Chris Middleton has kind of flown under today's radar. We have not talked about any Chris Middleton props. I think we did talk about this game being a major blowout risk. And so for me, if you're going to take Chris Middleton, it's probably going to be a Chris Middleton first half only. Chris Middleton first half only. Let's pull it up though. Chris Middleton first half points logs. Let's see what Mr. Middleton's been doing. And we're going to go here to NBA 1H, first half only. Chris Middleton sitting at 10.5 first half points. He's covered 10.5 first half points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. Has a bit of a down game. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then he comes back, you know. He's hit 10.5 first half points in 9 out of 10. 5 out of 5, 9 out of 10. 100% hit rate in the last 5, 90% hit rate in the last 10 at 10.5 points. Now you can even take this a step further. You can go versus OKC, today's opponent. And you can see what he's done over the course of his career. First half points versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. In his last 3 games, we won't go back too far, because once you get past those first 3 games, then you're talking 2019, nearly like 3 years ago. But in the last 3 games, he has covered 10.5 first half points in 2 out of 3. So a 67% hit rate. So I ain't really mad at you playing Chris Middleton points, but I'd probably play it in a first half only format. And it's hard to argue with a guy who's covered in 5 out of 5 and 9 out of his last 10. Done a pretty good job, even in the last 25. If you look at the last 25 games here, which is about how many games is displayed through StatMuse, he's done a pretty good job in the last 25 games of covering 10.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 out of 25 is a pretty good hit rate. So Chris Middleton, probably someone worth considering in a first half point type of format, with this game being a blowout like it's supposed to be. Thrills, you are asking about Brandon Ingram for first half points. Well, while we've got this pulled up, let's look in at Brandon Ingram here. First half point logs. Ingram today is sitting at 11.5. He's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 out of 5, 80% hit rate. But then when we look at games 6 through 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's only covered in 1 out of those 5 games. So overall, not the greatest hit rates for first half points. He's picked it up in the last 5, but in the last 10, kind of ugly. So since CJ McCollum has come to town, he's covered this in 80% of his games. He's gone over 11.5 first half points in 80%. And he came really close in this one with 11. So maybe if you think this is a trend that, a new trend, something that continues to go forward in today's matchup, then maybe you take a shot on it. Chris Middleton was looking very nice, though. Very nice. The last time, by the way, Brandon Ingram played Memphis, he had just 6 first half points. Worth mentioning. Let's see here. Stonky Kong is saying, Nets blow out Hornets. Wondering your thoughts. Thanks. Do the Nets blow out the Hornets? Let's refresh here. Let's see if these money lines and things have updated. I mean, the total's 239.5. The spread is 3.5. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't try to predict blowouts. According to the Vegas lines makers, it looks like this game is probably going to stay close. I would say that it stays close too, being that Charlotte is at home and Brooklyn is the road team. I would be really surprised if it end up being a blowout. Allergies. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict those blowouts. Colby thinks that Giannis goes berserk tonight. I don't mind that. I probably wouldn't take him in a full game format, but I mean, if you did take anybody in a full game format in a major blowout situation, then it would probably need to be a guy like Giannis, right? Somebody who is going to be a major factor in a game blowing out. But yeah, 13-point spread. Might have to play this in a first half only format. Michael Abraham loves Jay Crowder's points. Full game, first half, what are you thinking here on Jay Crowder? Points. At 5.5 first half points, it's been kind of up or down, hit or miss in the last 5 games, so doesn't look too exciting. Let's look at his full game over the last 5. Oh boy. Yeah, that looks a lot better, right? 12, 16, 15, 14, and 19. So yeah, maybe you take Jay Crowder's full game points. I want to say that Orlando's kind of decent against opposing wings, though. Maybe I could be wrong. Let's go look at it. Orlando, they are giving up, 16.2 points. Second fewest to opposing small forwards in the last 7 games. So Orlando kind of tough against small forwards. Now, he needs just 12 points. It's not like we're asking for 20 or 30 points. Against power forwards, giving up about 24 points per game. Crowder, probably more the power forward. Mikal Bridges, more of the small forwards. So, Orlando giving up a whole lot more points to power forwards than small forwards. So, I don't mind you riding the hot streak. That is Jay Crowder's points. As far as projections go, let's take a look. Got him projected for 11.3 at 11.5. Looks like the betting public snatching up the over. So there you go, bank shot for real. Bank shot, FR. Osmosis Jones, and a lot of people are talking Wendell Carter Jr. Wendell Carter Jr. He's at 10 rebounds. He's going up against Phoenix tonight, DeAndre Ayton. Wendell Carter Jr. probably going to be the matchup. I don't know. Maybe they put Ayton on Bamba or Bamba on Ayton, but I think Wendell Carter Jr., as far as physicality, he's going to have to be the one that probably bodies up with Ayton. I just don't think Mo Bamba's built for the task, personally. But yeah, looking at the DVP here, Phoenix giving up the second most rebounds to power forwards at 12 per game. And the third most rebounds to centers at 18.3 per game. Very good rebounding matchup for Wendell Carter Jr. I can see why you guys are getting on this one. Wendell Carter Jr. projected for 11.4 boards, but for whatever reason, the public at 10.5 rebounds is smashing the under. Minus 135, minus 140. Shout out to Nathan Martinelli, by the way. Thank you, Nathan, for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that, buddy. Make sure you hit the like button as well, Nathan. We're trying to run 200 plus likes back again. Hit that like button, gang, if you haven't yet. 200 likes. Let's do it again. We can do it. I know we can. So yeah, Wendell Carter Jr., we're getting like a half a rebound value on him because the betting public is smashing the under at 10.5. Don't know why they're doing that. I really don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they think, blowout. It can't be because of the matchup. 18.3 to centers, 12 to power forwards. It can't be because of the matchup. The matchup is great for Wendell Carter Jr. So I don't know. I don't know what they're seeing, why they would be smashing the under at 10.5. Otherwise, yeah, I think Wendell Carter Jr. looks pretty nice. PRA, yes, Sean, bars. Wendell Carter Jr.'s PRA, his fantasy points, all of that probably firmly in play. Phoenix giving up 47, nearly 48 fantasy points to power forwards to centers. Phoenix giving up over 58 fantasy points to centers. So all of that, PRA, rebounds, all of that. All that should be in play for Wendell Carter Jr. He did miss the last game with an illness. So take that for what it's worth. Chris Smith, you are mentioning some Kevin Durant points. He is at 29.5. He's going up against Charlotte today. Yeah, KD, what? Small forward, power forward? We'll look at both. Charlotte giving up the 6th most points to small forwards at 25 points per game. If we round it up to 25 points. Now you factor in that it's Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers of all time. And yeah, he's in a pretty good spot, pretty good matchup. Charlotte against power forwards. A lot more difficult, 18.1 points per game. That's the 4th fewest. Who do you think guards Kevin Durant tonight? Miles Bridges? Would it be Miles Bridges who is tasked with trying to slow down easy money sniper? I don't like his chances. I think Kevin Durant might feast on this young man if it is Bridges. I do have him projected for 30.7 points. 30.7 points. We're not seeing any action so far though on any of the sports books. KD at 29.5. So no money coming in over or under yet on Kevin Durant. So we'll have to see how things shake out, what the public ends up doing. Lots of love for Crowder points. So hopefully you guys feel a little more confident about Crowder points. Again, Crowder, he's power forward. Then I think Crowder at power forward looks a lot better than Crowder at small forward, right? Based on the DVP that we saw against the Orlando Magic, that is. Bruce Brown at 9.5 points. Now, that's not a name that we talk about a whole lot. He is up on the board, though. Bruce Brown, 9.5. Just quickly looking at his game logs, he's covered this in 4 out of 5, and against Toronto on March 1st came really close with 9 points. This seems like the type of game that is going to be high scoring, should go 4 quarters, where maybe you go to Bruce Brown once again. He's been kind of that third scoring option behind KD and Kyrie, right? Seth Curry's points have kind of fallen off of a cliff. It's not getting the buckets like he was when he was the front runner. Kevin Durant and Kyrie were sidelined. Seth Curry was kind of the man. Bruce Brown seems like he's more of the third wheel, the third option for Brooklyn. So, yeah, if you want to go Bruce Brown, I'm not mad at you. Game total looks great. Like I said, spread looks great. Bruce Brown, probably, maybe he's more the small forward. Kevin Durant's the power forward. But, yeah, Charlotte giving up, like we talked about 25 points to small forward. So Bruce Brown needs just 10 points. He's had 15, 14, 21, and 16 in the games that he's covered in the last 5. So, yeah, maybe you go to Bruce Brown. I got Brown projected for 10.1. That's more than 9.5. And then we've got him on 4 different books, 4 different sites. A big betting favorite on a lot of these. I say big, but pretty big. Minus 135, minus 130 respectively. So you could go Bruce Brown. I see some of you talking about the soccer prop that's up. You guys liking it? Thumbs up if you're liking the over on the taco that's currently up. That's soccer taco. D Visual Art says, my brother, winning stream, my brother. Well, I appreciate you, D Visual Arts. I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best to help you. Rumsey says, what would be your favorite taco if Chef Curry could get in the PrizePicks kitchen and make himself a taco? What taco would I make up? Wow, man, that is a loaded question. There's a lot of options on this board today, folks. A whole lot of options on this board. I mean, we like the Brooklyn Charlotte game, right? Maybe Kevin Durant under, like I say under. Maybe we discount Kevin Durant's points at 29.5. I mean, dude's just been en fuego. 31 and 37 in 2 straight games. You know, maybe him. I want somebody reliable, that's for sure. If I'm going to make a taco, darn it, it's going to have to be a good taco, right? Kevin Durant's points versus Hornets logs. He's had 38, 25, and 29 in 3 games versus the Hornets. So let's say we discounted this taco down to 28.5. Maybe they even give us 27.5. I don't know how much of a discount we would get. But, you know, at 28.5, I think it still looks pretty good. You know, 38 against Charlotte, 29 against Charlotte, 2 out of 3 games. This game that he had 25, he only played 30 minutes. 30 minutes in that game. So I'm not too worried about that. If this game truly does stay close, if it does not blow out, and he plays, you know, 34, 35, 36 minutes against Charlotte, I think he hits. You can also open up this game log and see who was active for the Brooklyn Nets at that time. It was Kyrie, KD, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan. So, yeah, no James Harden. But he only played 30 minutes in that game. So, you know, I don't know. A guy like that might be good. Kevin Durant, taco. Take the under. Or not take the under, but discount his points. Discount his points at 29.5. Maybe somebody like him. You know, a fun game with a reliable guy like Kevin Durant. A guy that you know is going to have the ball in his hands. Who's going to shoot a lot of shots. Listen, I could talk about these potential tacos all day long, but I'm going to move on. But that could be one that we look at. Kevin Durant points. Maybe that's a taco. A taco worth discounting. CJ, are you from the Orlando area? I'm always at Amway catching games. I am in Tampa, so right up I-4, my friend. I am over here just down I-4 in Tampa, about 2 hours away from Orlando. Julian's asking about some KD points, some Crowder points, some Wendell Carter rebounds. Yeah, we talked about all those, and then some. Those all look pretty good. Everyday fantasy, Giannis, steals and blocks versus Oklahoma City. Yeah, I mean, That would be my favorite steals and blocks play from the looks of things. Giannis Antetokounmpo versus the Thunder. Zach Glenn's asking about Katie's fantasy points and LaMelo's fantasy points. Sure. Let's look at those. LaMelo, the point guard, going up against Brooklyn. Brooklyn's given up, 40.7, the fewest fantasy points to point guards in the last 7 games. So not the easiest matchup for LaMelo. Be careful. And then you were also asking about, who was it? Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's fantasy points versus Charlotte. Hornets giving up over 43 fantasy points to small forwards. They're giving up... Where they at? 42 to power forwards. I think we go KD points, if anything. I mean, not that he can't get his fantasy points, but you guys are saying that the taco is good. Lewandowski is a GOAT. Okay, so sounds like you guys are liking the taco. Mac B, Miles Bridges points. Miles Bridges points versus Brooklyn. He's only covered his points prop in 1 out of the last 5 games. Not the greatest. But maybe he comes back to life here against Brooklyn. Brooklyn has given up a fairly high number of points to power forwards, 24 per game. That's inside the top 10 most giving. So if you wanted to take a shot on some Miles Bridges, I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at you there. At some point, he's going to have to come back to life, right? 21.1 is his projected points total. At 18.5, he is being bet over on 4 different sites. So they expect Bridges to get back on track after 3 bad games in a row. King United says this dude is the greatest goal scorer in the world. The greatest goal scorer in the world. So you're feeling confident about it then. All right, shout out to you, gang. Thanks for bringing the knowledge to the stream today. The soccer knowledge to a hoops head like myself. We appreciate you. Scrolling through here, we're an hour and 32. I'm gonna have to wrap this sucker up, but yeah, definitely make sure you're getting into the official PrizePicks Discord. You're visiting that taco bar. You're making your votes. Vote for good quality players. Vote for guys in good matchups. I don't care what the prop is, as long as they're in a good matchup. But I would say that probably something like points would be a little less volatile than rebounds or assists. So, with points, at least the player has his destiny in his own hands, right? You don't have to rely on his teammates for the assist. You don't have to hope the ball bounces your way when you get a rebound. So maybe go with some points, taco props. Just browsing through, guys. I'm just scrolling through, just cherry picking, maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Brogdon points. Matt B's asking about Brogdon. We've talked about Brogdon. He's really taken on the scoring role here in the last couple of games. He's at 19.5 points. He has gone over 19.5 in 4 straight games. I will say that attacking Cleveland with guys who can hit outside shots seems to be the path to success, the path to victory. But I think if you get a guy who can slash as well, tonight would be the night without Jared Allen in there. Cleveland giving up about 22 points per game. That is the 8th most. So difficult matchup on paper for point guards. Shooting guards are getting about 24 to 25 points per game. Much easier. So if you think Halliburton's more your point guard, Brogdon's more your shooting guard, then I would say take a shot on some Brogdon over 19.5 points. I'll pull up a projection for you on this one. I got him going for 20.2, but the betting public not so optimistic for Brogdon tonight. They're taking the under at 19.5 points. Jared's also liking some Brogdon points and Crowder points. Everyday Fantasy saying, take the over on the taco. Okay. I think that taco is a bit better than a coin flip. Odds are they score. He is their leading scorer and will likely have that goal. Just saying. Thank you for helping us out there, Ricky Spanglas. Can't say your name. But yeah, sounds like you guys are all on that taco. All up on that taco. Just browsing through, seeing what else stands out. You're also saying that the fourth quarter unders are where it's at. Yeah, if you could get some fourth quarter point props up, you could definitely make some money. It's kind of risky, though. I don't like playing fourth quarter. Yep, Wendell Carter Jr. rebound. Sounds like you guys are all on a lot of the same picks, same props. Chris Paul is out tonight. Cam Johnson's out tonight. Devin Booker is out tonight. Yep. Talked about those Bruce Brown points. A lot of love for the soccer taco. A lot of love for the soccer taco. Yeah, Jace, we've talked about Herbert Jones rebounds. Those look pretty good. Isaac's liking some Desmond Bane 3-point makes. You could go to that one. Trevor's asking about some Landry Shamet rebounds. I mean, if you want to, I guess you could go there. It's a pretty decent sized slate. I don't think you have to go there, but if you want to go there, 2.5 rebounds. This guy's kind of just been up or down, right? I mean, he's playing Orlando tonight, but I like taking big guys that are known for rebounding. Is Landry Shamet really known to pull in the boards like that? Not really. Like, feels like we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel taking Landry Shamet rebounds. So I don't think you have to go there. Anyways, gang, I think we've covered a lot of these props that you guys are asking about, a lot of these players that you guys are asking about. Brogdon, yeah, if we're liking the Brogdon points, there's a lot to like about a lot of these. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to get up out of here. Make sure you guys are over in the PrizePicks official Discord. Get into the PrizePicks official Discord. Make sure that you're paying attention to the announcements today. It is Taco Tuesday. They will be announcing groups of players for Group 1, for Group 2. Vote on some quality players that are in good spots. Whether that be high game totals with close spreads, whether that be games where the DVP, defense versus position, looks good. Make sure you're voting on some quality players and some quality tacos. All right, let's make good plays into great plays by discounting them even further. All right, I know some of you like to take the other approach. Well, Kevin Durant's already in a good spot at 29.5 points. Let's not discount him. Well, why not? If he's a good play, let's go ahead and make it a great play by getting him discounted, for example. That's just an example. Not telling you what to do, but that's how I look at the tacos. Let's make them as close to a free square as possible. That's just the way I approach it. Anyway, you do what you want to do, but make sure you're in the PrizePicks official Discord, paying attention to the taco bar, the voting, and all that stuff. And jump in my Discord too. Like I said, we'll be doing free entry Friday, this Friday, giving away 10 free entries to Patreon members, and I'm going to give away a couple of free entries to those of you who are not Patreon members. Those of you who are in the Discord community will reward you as well with a chance to win some of those free entries to win $100 Rooskies over on PrizePicks. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm getting up out of here. If you're in Patreon, if you're in Discord, you'll find me in there throughout the rest of the day. Until then, guys, peace.